wondered what was out there in the night sky, stared up at the stars in the hopes of seeing something out of the ordinary? Have you heard unexplainable noises coming from a vacant room, or watched a shadow cross the wall in front of you? Have you asked yourself if there is life after this one, or if you had life before? What about strange creatures that are mythical and elusive? Have you experienced deja vu or felt a prompting to leave because you felt you were in danger? If you have, you were on the fringe.
Welcome to another fun-filled episode. Oh, that's evil. They are evil. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of What If Tomorrow on the Fringe. I'm Mark.
I'm Pam.
And I'm Jess.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. So for those of you who are listening, she has a cymbal monkey.
Full of candy in its butt.
Full of candy, which it is kind of fun, but it is kind of creepy as well. And for those of us who played Fallout, we have bad memories of that.
The monkey butt candy or what?
Ew.
Just the clappy monkey.
Oh, clapping.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
Is it Clappy Monkey or is it a monkey with a clap? Because both sound scary.
That's really... Oh, no.
Yikes.
Scary.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Wow. That escalated quickly.
That did. Goodness.
So before we get into tonight's show, I'm going to take care of some housekeeping and play an ad.
Ooh,
If I
excitement
can-
abounds.
Hey, this is Mark with What If Tomorrow and What If Tomorrow on the Fringe. Be sure to check out our website, whatiftomorrowmedia.com, and look at our cool merch. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, posters, and more. Our affiliates are Duke Cannon, EMP Shield, My Patriot Supply, and Conflicted the Game. Or check out buymeacoffee.com/whatiftomorrow and buy us a coffee. And as always, be sure to like, comment, and share on both Facebook and YouTube. It helps get our content out to others and help our channel grow. Now on with the show.
Very nice.
Yes, there will be new ads and intros and outros coming very soon. I'm starting to work on that stuff, and I'm very excited. Tonight's episode is Global Hotspots Unraveling High Strangeness Part 2. Well, that's me butchering another language. Let's. Oh yeah, we've got the whole
We're only like
going
a
on.
minute in, and we've descended into madness.
It didn't take that long.
It's been a long ass day, y'all. That's all I can say.
It has been a long day. So let the madness commence, because that's what we're talking about. We are talking about high strangeness areas, and some places just don't have one ghost story. They have an ecto system. See what I did there? That's fun.
There's
Yeah, I need to get that programmed in my soundboard.
Have you guys seen the little thing that you can hook on your car to play the drums, to play the snare when you're going down the road? Or not the
No, I have
snare.
not seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen the LED light message deals, so you can program, the finger and everything else would come up in your back window.
See it roll up and roll down.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of fun stuff out there.
There is. Symbols. That's what they are. Symbols. Little symbol that you can put in your car.
Yeah,
Nice.
Mike has one.
Does he?
I'm
Yes.
sure he does. Yeah. You get the full
Yep.
drum set on his dash, so he can.
He
No.
used to scare the bejesus out of me when we were. For any of you at home who don't know my personal life, my husband and I were literally best friends before we started dating and got married, and he would scare the bejesus out of me. He's a drummer, and he would always keep a pair of drumsticks in his car, and he would steer with his knee and then drum on everything around him, blazing down the highway doing 90 to nothing. And all I could think of was like, this is it. This is how it goes. This is how I end. This is the end of Jess. Because this butthole over here wants to drum while he's driving. And then I married him. So really, it's on me. It's on me.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, it's a good thing he's funny.
That's we're
not allowed to play together very often. At least we're not in public.
It's a bad combo.
It is. We feed off each other. It's terrible. All right. So last week we talked about, a lot of the usual places like the Uinta Valley, Skinwalker Ranch and all that stuff. Bradshaw. We're going to talk about some different ones tonight. Some that are fairly well known to some people and some that aren't well known at all. We're just going to kind of go through it, and we're going to talk about what some of these places have in common. So one of the first ones I've got that we haven't, I don't believe we talked about. Did we talk about Pine Bush, New York?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have.
Well, I mean, we're going to start seeing a theme here. Pine Bush, New York, in the Hudson Valley. It's often called the UFO capital of the East Coast. Local tourism and the Pine Bush UFO and Paranormal Museum lean into decades of sightings, with reports going back to the 60s, and an annual UFO flip. Excuse me while I slap myself. Fair. So that's kind of, we're going to go to something like that this summer. So,
yeah.
The broader Hudson Valley had a major UFO flap in the 80s and 90s. Describes more than 5,000 reported sightings between 82 and 86, including police officers and other credible witnesses. Often describing large structured craft or formations of lights. So there was large silent craft and triangular light formations, repeated skywatcher sightings, UFO. Oh, there's also been some UFO, Sasquatch and paranormal add-ons.
Very common. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just your typical, strange area. There's a little bit of everything going on there. So I think you had some stuff on the Hudson Valley, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm like, me? Did I?
Did you? I don't know. Did you?
You're in headlights.
All right.
Well,
I'm trying to find it.
Say exit.
Notebooks has a notebook.
I'll just fall over.
You're gonna fall over.
Just gonna fall over out of camera. While you're looking for that, Ian said in regards to the driving and being crazy, he said that's how you end up parking Rolls Royce in a swimming pool. He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. Nope, I'll do it. Although if I had access to a Rolls Royce, I would have somebody else driving me around. I would be Miss Daisy.
Only if you have the oboe music following you around everywhere.
I mean, oboe is highly underrated as a musical instrument.
I don't know.
It has a creepy sound. I mean, it'd be perfect for the show.
Well, Jess is looking. I got to show off what came in the mail. I got it right when I got home. It's my very own copy of Inhumanoids. I have it in PDF form, but I have always wanted a physical copy, and I finally got one.
Yay!
And it's in fantastic shape. Usually they're pretty expensive, and I got it $14, I think.
That's not bad.
There's no marks in it or anything.
Nice.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Nice.
So Hudson River Valley. I'm just going to talk about it instead of digging for it because I know the Hudson River Valley is known for its UFOs flaps. It's had 3 huge ones The first one was back in like the 30s, and then they had another flap sometime in the 60s, 70s, and then another one in the late 80s into the 90s. And not only do they have that, but they have several vortex areas, and they also have extreme hauntings, especially in the Catskills area. It's just the whole river valley. In fact, there's a lot of like really weird river valleys. We could talk about the Ohio River Valley. Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean we've got the Ohio River Valley, the San Luis Valley in Colorado and New Mexico.
The Caney River Valley.
The Caney River Valley, yeah. I mean,
No joke.
well, we got moving water, we got sandstone, we got everything you need to have all kinds of high strangeness. So, well, let's talk about San Luis, and we can kind of compare it to what we know. It's called the Roswell of the Rockies. One of the most prolific UFO hotspots in the world. It sits across the world's largest alpine valley, and has all kinds of native legends about the Star People. So that's actually really cool. Thousands of sightings of metallic discs and dancing lights, and also ground zero for modern cattle mutilation phenomenon dating back to Snippy the horse in '67. So we talk about that several times. Get 37th Parallel and read that. They talk about it in there in some depth.
They do.
It's got a UFO watchtower in Hooper, Colorado, where they report frequent portal sightings. So visitors claim to see craft appearing and disappearing instantly over great sand dunes. In 1967, Snippy the horse was found with surgical-style incisions, no blood on the ground, and lingering scent of medicinal formaldehyde. The local soil was found to be radioactive in a perfect circle around the body. So that's definitely some place to look into. Look up Snippy the horse online. You'll find pages and pages and pages, a few more pages of stuff.
We've actually covered Snippy the horse, and I can't remember if it was on Fringe or if it was on Strange.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember either. I have to look it up.
Was it when you were talking to Debbie Ziegelmeyer?
No, it wasn't, but it was before then. It's been a few years ago. I want to say it was Strange, and it wasn't too long after we started.
That could be, because I remember talking about it.
Yeah. And I remember I had a slideshow. That's why it makes me think it was on Strange.
Okay.
But yeah, that was crazy. And like you mentioned, Debbie Ziegelmeyer, her brother Chuck is the one that the 37th Parallel book is written about. And yeah, he's the one that actually discovered the amount of strangeness that runs along the 37th Parallel. Or he's the one that put it together, I should say.
Yeah.
And that's just from doing what Jess does, research, and writing everything down and cross pointing everything against each other. And that's how you find patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Do we got anything else about San Luis Valley?
Oh yeah, so they also have the devil winds there.
Ooh.
Hikers are very leery about certain areas of that valley because of the supposed devil winds that come down. Some say if the devil wind blows up, you'll actually end up on a different part of the valley. Like you'll get moved.
Like, wow.
Oh, that's weird.
Transported.
It also sometimes kind of heralds the spirit watcher. It's a entity that lives out in the valley, they say, and I would think it's almost like one of those creatures where if you spot it, a bad omen kind of, it's gonna, some bad things are gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
And then there's the invisible creatures that go along the hiking trails. People can hear them off in the brush. They never can see them, but they can see the brush move aside.
Yeah, and it's a huge valley.
Mhm.
It is. It's very close to my daughter. She likes to go hiking, and I told her I'd be damned if she's going to go hiking there. She can just keep her tush out of that there valley.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Some things you don't really want to mess with, and that would be one of those things.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a creepy
not my
place,
idea
I
of a
hear.
place to go. Aren't there a bunch of missing 411s in that area?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sure there are. Yeah.
Hmm. In
Because
fact, there's
it's
like,
strange.
I've heard stories that when people do go missing and they, they call in the rangers and stuff to come in and start a search, uh, if the supposed devil winds pick up, they will refuse to go and search because they know not to go into the mountains at that time when the devil winds are coming.
That speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we ain't going. There's devil winds there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not just because, oh, it's windy, maybe it'll impede us. Apparently, it's it's not an intense wind. It's just a wind that blows up out of nowhere that shouldn't be there.
Weird.
So,
That is weird, but weird is what we
Weird.
do.
I like
That's
it.
the secret right there. Weird is what we do.
We are the weirdos.
we are.
We are. And you know what? As I get older, I've just learned the older I get, the more I just embrace the weird. Being
Yeah.
normal is just, life's too short to be normal.
Right?
True
That's-
that.
So true.
All right.
Who's up next?
I think I am. What do I want to talk about?
We don't know.
Let's talk a little bit about the Ozarks. And I'm going to stick to a very specific portion of the Ozarks just because I know a lot about it. And that is the spook light. It shows up around Joplin, Missouri. It shows up around Hornet, Oklahoma. It shows up close to Miami, Oklahoma. And it has been seen since the 1800s, mid 1800s. There for a long time, people wanted to say that it was headlights from cars that are along the interstate. But they have been seen, this light has been seen longer than that interstate has been there, longer than there have been cars. It has been seen. There are tons of Indian legends that discuss it. In fact, the local tribes, when they go out that way, they take offerings and put it out on the road. They'll bring tobacco and they'll bring. I've seen them pour Coke out on the road even as an offering, along with the Coca-Cola, along with the with.
Oh no, we're just going to stick with Coke. That's. I'm a child of the '80s. That's.
They could have got the light really zipping that night, huh? It's been seen as recent that I know in particular, as recent as the end of March. So with video, which is really cool. And I remember my oldest son's grandmother. She grew up in Joplin, and in the 50s, her and her sister, they were double dating with their boyfriends that they ended up marrying later on. And they were out there in a convertible looking for the spook light, and it came at them, shot right at them, and went down between the four of them in the car before it jetted off. And she is very devout Christian, not somebody to just make stuff up. Yeah.
My new Indian name is Chief Brownstein.
Brown britches.
Yikes.
Yeah, so it's fascinating. We as a team have been out there a couple of times. We haven't seen anything. And they have paved the road that it's on now, and there's people that live out in that area. So you are and there's no, they've taken the shoulders off the road, so there's really nowhere to pull over. So you got to be really careful because you can get ticketed for being out there and stopping in the middle of the road. So, but it is still there. There was a gentleman named Spooky, well, they called him Spooky, that capitalized on the whole Joplin Spook Light, and he even built this little sideshow attraction for it and sold pamphlets and things. And I have a copy of the pamphlet. I have a photocopy of the pamphlet that is really kind of cool. I mean, it's really a piece of Americana kind of thing, but it's neat. And that's obviously not the only spook light, but that's the one that's nearest and dearest to my heart because I think it is one of the closest spook lights to us. There is another one that's closer, but yeah, it's interesting stuff.
Yeah. And that area also has some hauntings that go along with it
Yes.
too.
Yeah. I've heard
So-
some of those stories.
Yeah.
And come to the Paracon and
Yes.
listen to an expert talk
Yes.
about these things this year.
Yeah, Lisa Martin from Dark Ozarks. She's going to be there to talk about mysterious Missouri.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's something to look forward to. Come on down and hang out. It'll
Yeah,
be
she's
fun.
pretty cool. She's got a great story about them being out there at the spook light and not seeing it, but hearing a pack of coyotes, they believed, coming at them down the road. And they're, looking, where's it going? Is it going through the fields beside us? Where's it going? And it gets louder and louder and louder. And it's just like it ran where they were standing, ran through them collectively. And they never saw anything, but they heard them yipping, they heard them barking, they felt the motion moving by them. They were just invisible. So that's pretty fascinating.
Well, that opens up so many cans of worms I'd like to
Doesn't it?
speculate about. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
that reminds me of the lions.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lions. No, I was gonna say that the Ozarks in general are just an area of high strangeness, and I had also written down the Mark Twain Forest, which is right there too. The Mark Twain Forest is its own intensely weird place.
It is weird.
Yeah. It's full of cryptids and ghosts and Bigfoot and Dogman and UFO sightings and really strange Native American legends. There's apparently, and I guess it's not a legend, there's an area deep down in the forest, in the very unpopulated area of the Mark Twain Forest. There's a supposed cave that houses, it's almost like the American Indian Alexandria library.
Dang,
It's
that's
all of the local tribes' knowledge and their artifacts and riches and long-standing histories are supposed to be all stored in this cave. And I've heard many stories where people got close to it. Usually they weren't heading towards it. They knew nothing about it. They were just hiking out in the middle of nowhere and got too close, and groups of Native American Indians would kind of gang up on them and push them out. Kind of reminds me of like the Superstition Mountains just a little bit when people start getting a little too close to the riches.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a mafia band of American Indians will walk your butt right back on out of that area. And basically say you were never here. We don't want to hear a whisper of you, So
that's cool.
yeah. Super crazy. And
Eerie.
it's a
Eerie.
missing 411 cluster area. People have gone.
It is.
A lot of people have gone missing. And it's also an area of time slips. Holy cow, the time slip stories that I have out of the Mark Twain Forest. So, crazy place.
That'd be a fun show to do.
Are we starting to see a pattern? I believe all these places have all the same stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ozarks, especially down where we're talking about around the Mark Twain National Forest and stuff, it's just, all of Missouri. It's called the Cave State. It's riddled with caves. Tons of underwater aquifers, tons of, there's crystals in them Nar Hills. There's all kinds of that. Everything that makes the perfect recipe, for paranormal activity.
It is. It's kind of nuts. So, and the ghost stories and
Tons and tons of ghost stories.
all of your classic ghost stories are out there. I mean, and people see them all the time. And I think there's just so much energy out there. If you believe in something, you're going to see it.
Well, yeah, and it's the perfect radio antenna. Radios are made from crystals. They have crystals that run them, and you're sitting on a hotbed of crystals, and so it's just like putting a beacon out,
Yeah.
to get the weird stuff in.
I think another interesting point to make about the Ozarks before we leave that area, it's they're very deep, and they hold on to their old folklore.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more than a lot of other areas. And
Reminds me of Appalachia, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's a branch of it. Yeah.
They have some very odd folklore type cryptid creatures there, like the Ozark Howler, which we always like to joke about. But frankly, I think that these people believe in them so deeply. Generation after generation, they've passed down this belief system of these very fairy tale like creatures. I almost wonder if they do exist in some kind of a tulpa form.
Yeah, they've manifested them. Yeah,
it's manifested it into the Ozarks, and now they actually may very well exist there.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's very, very possible. Momo's big in that area too, which Momo just stands for Missouri Monster, which is Bigfoot. They just call it Momo. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's all kinds of funky stuff over that way. We're only, an hour and 45 minutes away from the line.
Yeah, we're not far.
No, we're not far at all. And a lot of that spills over this way.
Yeah. Well, we're actually in the Little Ozarks. If you take a look at of the mountainous maps that shows you the terrain, we're on the very last of it. The sandhills outside of Caney is kind of where it trails off at, and then it becomes the Osage Mountains. And then those gain and go back down again. But we're called the Little Ozarks.
That's fun.
We're still a little rocky and hilly in our area.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got plenty right here.
Think about it. Where we're at, we're in Kansas, land that's supposed to be completely flat and everything, but we are definitely not where we live. And there's tons of springs in our area, that crop up. In fact, we have a big problem in our city limits. We've got springs that will come up through the streets.
Yeah, we got springs coming through the sidewalk at my mother-in-law's house.
Really? Oh my gosh. Yeah. They're forever, especially over by the post office. They are forever having to dig that street up right there. I guess they're the old gas lines. They left them in before they moved to the new stuff. And so some of those springs have rerouted themselves into the old gas lines. And
tearing up the roads. Yeah.
Tearing up the roads. Yep.
Moving water. And we wonder why the town's haunted.
And the funny part is the main place where the springs pop up through the street is on Spring Street.
There's a reason it's called Spring Street.
Aptly named, huh? For sure.
Yeah.
Let's just pave it right over. It'll be okay. We won't have problems in the future.
No. Why would you think that?
Crazy. But even when, we were in a drought, they were still having to mess with that because it was coming up through the street. So
Billy's sidewalk is never dry. Even during the middle of the drought, it was just seeping water all the time and running down the street.
Yeah, that's what it does by the library too. On that end, you'll see there's a stream of water going down State Street a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. So did either of you girls find the Mapimi Zone of Silence in Mapimi, Mexico? Well, I
did not. Tell us more.
Oh, I know about the Zone of Silence. Yeah.
Okay.
To the Zone of Silence.
Well, go ahead and tell it. It's a really interesting place.
It's in the Chihuahua Desert, the Mapimi Biosphere Reserve region. So it's located on the 27th parallel. Same latitude as the Bermuda Triangle and the Great Pyramids. This area is a dead zone for radio and television. There's no signal. It's dead. The magnetic anomalies are so strong that compasses spin and electronics fail, and it is also a magnet for meteorites, which fall here with statistically impossible frequency. So, travelers report encounters with blondes, tall humanoid beings in silver suits who speak perfect Spanish and ask for water, only to vanish in the desert without leaving footprints. In 1970, an American Athena missile carrying radioactive isotopes veered hundreds of miles off course and crashed right into the middle. The U.S. Air Force had to build a temporary rail line to extract the contaminated sand.
Yeah.
So there's UFOs reported, strange lights, all sorts of meteorite lore, tall strangers, and just all kinds of weirdness. Just weirdness all the time. So
It sounds weird.
it is. And I wonder, with the magnetic anomalies, I wonder if there's a lot of magnetite there.
That's possible. Yeah.
Maybe.
Because you get up into Arizona and stuff, there's some very large magnetite deposits up there. So it just makes me wonder.
There's a lot of weirdness. That makes me think of Pitcher, Oklahoma. There's a lot of weirdness down that way too. And
That's because of the lead.
yeah, well, there is evidence of a meteorite that hit, like a big one that hit, and that's where they're getting a lot of the stuff out of the ground there too.
Well, yeah.
For mining, but that had to have had an effect. You're talking about it, magnetite. It had to have an effect on, meteorites are magnetic. So
Yeah, I mean, there's that. It's just a weird spot overall. What gets me is the mysterious tall strangers. So that just, it's like, what is there? Like a secret alien base out there? They're blonde too.
it's like Mount Shasta's cousin,
Yeah, except it's
south
flat.
of the equator. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Is Chihuahua south? No, it's north of the equator. It's
Oh, it is.
27 degrees
Yeah.
north. 27 degrees north.
No, I have no idea. I know it's in Mexico. That's all I know. And they named little bitty dogs after it. That's all I know. That's all I got.
Mean
Little bitty
little
yucky
dog. I've got a big old scar on my hand from.
Mean little some bitches, aren't they?
Yeah.
My friend, one bit her right on the nose. She had two little marks in her, or bite marks in her nose the longest time where it bit her.
I'm missing a chunk out of my calf for one attacked me while Mike and I were out walking.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian and Tina had 5 chihuahuas. They're down to 4 now.
And they're still alive.
Yeah.
They're horrible little things, little crazy rats with bug eyes. I'm sorry if anyone listening has one at home. They are not my kind of... I don't even think they should be called dogs. I don't know what those things are.
I think they're alien. I really think they might be little aliens.
Chica is rolling over in her grave over on Fawn Street.
They're meaner than hell.
Did you have
agree.
one?
Yeah, when I married Chris, she had a old ancient Chihuahua, and she was cranky. One minute she'd be super duper sweet, and the next minute just I could not bend over and kiss my wife, or she'd try to take my face off.
A little bit of doggy dementia going on, maybe.
They're evil.
Just very protective, I guess. But yeah, if you had a dog the size of like a Rottweiler or something with the temperament of a Chihuahua, humanity would end. Chris said they had Chica for 17 years.
Wow.
So she was cute. And
When she
evil.
wasn't trying to kill you.
Take my face off or my hand. I know, right?
She wasn't plotting your demise.
Constantly. I feel lucky to be this old. I mean,
She let you live.
she allowed me to live.
They live. Yeah.
No.
You know what? So, Sweetie, my kitty cat that disappeared, her birthday is tomorrow. She would be 20 years old.
Oh, wow.
20. And the only reason I can remember is because my cousin's daughter was born the same exact day, the same year. So I know when Riley turns 20, so did the cats.
All right. You guys got a new one? You want me to throw another one out there?
Oh, I've got tons.
All right.
Let's hit on Thompson Park, New York, really quick. It's one of my favorite ones. It's not a long one. So Thompson Park in Watertown, New York they call it the Vortex Park because of all the weird crap that pops in and out of there and the missing time and all sorts of insanity. So not only do they have these supposed vortexes where people will accidentally walk into them and pop back out on a different side of the park or 2 hours later and then end up someplace else in the area, they also have a really weird mist that floats through there. They have Bigfoot sightings. They have Dogman sightings. They have this particular hill where everybody hears these very strange noises that seem to come from everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. They also have really big time losses. Supposedly, if you go in between where the golf course is and the zoo, there's a little zoo at the park. Up through that area to the walking trails, people have lost hours and hours of time. Walked in at one moment, came back out later and realized it was like 4 hours later.
Wow.
Instead of 20 minutes. Yeah. The really interesting thing that I found about it, I found Watertown and was kind of studying on it a little bit. And I started digging in a little bit on the legends and stuff of the place. And I thought it was really interesting. Area 51's code name is Watertown. And I thought, well, that's a weird little coincidence. But I found out that Alan Dulles, who was the head of the CIA back in the 1950s when, Area 51 got big and all of that, he's actually from Watertown, right by the park. And when we started doing work, we did a show on The Fringe a couple of years ago on Project Pegasus.
Yep.
And Andrew Bazaglio. And he was talking about how, if you don't know what Project Pegasus is, it was basically, he claims that they brought in all these very, very young kids and was training them how to use the equipment that they stole from Tesla to time travel.
Yeah.
And the way that they did it was because they had kids from all over the world, basically. They had these portal areas at the different military bases and different major towns across the world. And they would enter through these portals, and it would take them to their main bases, which were like at Skunk Works and some of the other military bases, Area 51. And then they would train on these devices, these Tesla devices. And supposedly, Watertown is one of those. And it would make sense because Alan Dulles lived in New York, but he was working at Area 51.
Yeah, so how did he get back and forth?
Right?
Yeah.
And for those of you who haven't checked out Andrew Basaglio's story, check it out because he's actually really convincing.
Mm-hmm. He is.
He is
He has
really
a lot
convincing.
of proof.
Yeah, so I mean, do check it out.
Gentleman is still alive too. He's still actively doing interviews and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You can go and listen to him. He still speaks of it today, and he's still supposedly friends with a lot of people that the ones that did make it. A lot of them died because they had supposed cancers, and some of them got unalived in the process. they had pitfalls where things didn't work quite right when they were sent.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Hey,
Like what's happening right now?
I don't want to get too much into the unaliving thing with all the UFO people, but I think we seriously need to talk about it some show.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's
Um,
scary. They're finding more and more all the
especially-
time.
I
Let's
was
just make that
super
the next show.
sad. We could do that.
Yeah.
Have Enzo on.
Yeah, absolutely. Enzo, you want to be on here?
I was super sad when David Wilcock went.
Ah, and he was just the night before, Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the night before said he was going to testify. Yeah.
I think it's crazy. Nobody's talked about the fact that his biographer went the night before.
No, April 8th or 14th. Was it the 14th?
Oh,
I can't remember what date, but yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Nobody's talking about him at all.
Well, next show, let's do it.
Tony's in the chat. Hi, Tony.
Yeah.
Yay.
But anywho's, the Thompson Park Vortex, if connected to the whole Project Pegasus and stuff thing, apparently they claim that these portal areas are still being used. And it's a very easy way if they need to get scientists and researchers and whoever else bigwig is important to these different bases and military areas to get them back and forth extraordinarily easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it would be incredibly handy if I want to install one in my house so I can go back and forth to work and not have to drive. Who needs a car? I've got a
It's like a mini wormhole.
If you're interested in it, go check out Project Pegasus and Andrew Bazaglio and really dig into it. And then go in and dig into the Tesla files and the stuff that he supposedly have that went missing when he passed.
And
that
we have
our
great shows
U.S.
on there.
military supposedly took. He did have ways of creating these portals wherever he wanted. In fact, there's a story that Andrew Bazaglio tells. It's one of my favorite ones to tell. He said on his very first days, I can't remember which base he was at, but they were testing one of the Tesla coils, and they didn't quite know how it worked, but they gotten it put back together again, and they had turned it on, and a worker in the building had accidentally tripped and kind of fell into it a little bit, and he just disappeared.
Could you
And
imagine?
no one knew where he went. They just assumed that maybe he had died.
Yeah.
Because they didn't see him. Meanwhile, I think it was like 3 weeks or a month later, this dude just comes strolling through the front door of this base again. And they're like, oh my God, we thought you had died. Where have you been? And he claims that when he stumbled and fell through that machine, he ended up in South Africa.
Yeah.
And of course, back then it was in the 60s, and they had no portable phones, no cell phones. He had no way of contacting anyone. He just walked into the middle of South Africa and had to figure his own way back home. Took him 3 weeks to a month to make his way back. So, crazy stories. Look into it if you're interested. I don't know how you could not be. We'll have to go see which episode that was. Everybody go back and watch it.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Ian says, going to assume at this point Cash Patel and Pete Hesketh use a portal to get to the nearest bar. As one would.
Oh no.
Why wouldn't you?
Have you guys seen? Have you seen? There's a video going around from the correspondence dinner, and they've got the theme music to The Office in the background, and they're shooting to different people, and they
I
keep
just
shooting
love the
back
guy.
to
I
Cash
love the
Patel.
guy that just sat there and kept eating his salad. He never docked. He was just eating a salad.
Hey, food is important. I mean, if we gotta go, I might as well be enjoying my dinner because I paid big bucks for this gun. You know how much I paid for this plate? I'm going to sit here and eat.
Pretty wild.
Oh my, we're off on a tangent.
How
How about
no.
Yes, we do.
Wycliffe Well in Northern Territory, Australia?
There you
Hear
go.
about that one? So it was once marked as the U.S. capital of Australia, with alien-themed roadhouse, murals, statues, sighting logs, and tourist infrastructure. It was a big deal on ABC a few years ago. Site later became abandoned after floods and decline, with alien statues and buildings left to damage. Australian Geographic notes that after the roadhouse was abandoned, reported UFO sightings dropped, which creates a great question. Did the place lose activity or did it lose observers? I'm going to go with it lost observers, because that goes back to the whole Brian Terrell philosophy there. If you don't have enough people there to see it, it's like it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
So you got UFOs, travelers and locals. It's just a really weird, and I guess it was kind of like what we've got down here. You go out almost any night and just watch the lights. So it's on Stewart Highway north of Alice Springs if you're in the area and you want to drive by. I don't think there's anything there anymore, but probably some ruined statues.
Yeah.
Unless they're in somebody's yard someplace. And why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, for sure.
Okie dokie. I'd love to go. It's too bad the roadhouse is closed. I bet the food was good.
Right.
You know, served by little green men. Or maybe it was made out of little green men. I don't know.
Oh, could be. You never know. As expensive as meat is now, it's a real possibility.
It's Soylent Green. We've passed that date, by the way. The movie Soylent Green, yeah, the date that was supposed to happen, that's already long gone. We've already gone past it.
Yay.
Soylent Green is people. Oh,
Well, hopefully
sorry.
we aren't eating people. Hopefully they're not like pulling the wool over our eyes and our food's made of people.
Well, I mean, according to PETA, cows are people too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I've seen the ads. They say cows are people too.
I have a clean conscience. I haven't eaten
Well-
a cow for how many years now?
It's only
Well, I'm
because
eating them
you
for the both of
can't.
us because they're delicious.
Right.
I am a member of the other PETA, people eating tasty animals.
Oh,
Yes, it's the other PETA.
that's funny.
Oh, sorry, folks.
Mm.
I might have to mark this one explicit because we're talking about eating animals.
I have a good one. Are we
Okay.
ready for a
Okay.
new one?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of crazy, backcrap crazy stories that come off the Navajo reservation.
That is true.
That is a very big place of high strangeness. Navajo, they're also called Dene. And it's about a 27,000 square mile area. And you've got everything from, that's where Skinwalker actually comes from, is from the Navajo tribe. But you've got everything from shapeshifters to tons of bizarre aerial phenomenon. And they are so frequent that there's actually, there was a group called Navajo Rangers. And what is his name? Stanley Milford?
Mm-hmm.
Is that his name? He was a Navajo Ranger, and he wrote a book. It's fascinating. If you ever get a chance, read it. He's one of the people that we would love to get on Strange sometime, just to hear some of his stories. I think it would be fascinating. But they had all kinds of strange happenings while he was in the Rangers. They had at one point they had coins appear during a hunting investigation in Window Rock, Arizona. Milford actually witnessed 66 U.S. coins apport, and they just fell out of thin air over a 2-day period, and they all landed heads up, which is pretty cool. What'd Chris say?
What was crazy was the lady who was grabbing up all the wine bottles.
Oh, boy,
Honey, that's not crazy. That's planning.
Hand over fist, man.
That's planning.
Ian said, "Waste not, want not." It's true.
And he's absolutely correct. Never waste a bottle of booze.
That is hilarious.
No booze abuse.
I've already hit the sauce tonight, so
there are tons and tons of skinwalker encounters too. Again, this is kind of where it originated from, is from the Navajo tribe. It's in the Ute territory. And I will try to say, well, I don't know if I want to try to say the real name of it. I think I'll leave that alone. But it basically refers to a malevolent witch, which has achieved a high level of priesthood, but has chosen to use their powers for harm. So they don't want to be the good shamans. They want to do everything. They want to be evil. And that's what they do. They just move forward with it. There's all kinds of crazy things that are witnessed, though. There's a clothed creature that runs the reservation, and there are multiple accounts of this thing. They describe it as a larger than normal coyote with matted gray fur that is disturbingly wearing human clothes, such as blue jeans and a t-shirt when it's seen. So
weird.
Yeah, what would you call it? I mean, is that a werewolf? Is that a shapeshifter? I don't know.
I saw a Weenie Dog on Facebook
J.
wearing
Fox?
clothes the other day.
That's funny. And witnesses have reported hearing these things mimic the voices of loved ones to lure them outside.
Oh, no, that's just creepy right there.
Yeah,
Mimics are bad juju.
they are big time bad juju.
I might make jokes, but that is bad juju.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
There's even one account where a creature appeared with the exact face of a witness's friend. That's how much they
Well,
thought
didn't
it
you
was.
guys see a mimic or a doppelganger at your investigation in the mansion?
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw
yeah.
one at
McIntyre.
McIntyre Villa. Looked just
So
like Craig's mom.
there's all kinds of stuff like that. I know people who've personally seen stuff like that. That's disturbing.
It is. It's
That is
extremely disturbing.
disturbing.
Yeah, it's freaky. There's also something that they basically call highway pursuit, and it's a more common modern encounter with these things, and it involves a creature that paces beside a speeding vehicle on a remote road, sometimes running on all fours, but they are always maintaining a speed of 50 plus miles per hour. Could you imagine trying to rip down the highway because you know something's chasing you, and you look over and it's keeping pace with you and looking back? Ooh!
Yeah. No, thank you.
Ugh.
Nope. I'm gonna nope right on out of there. I'm gonna see how fast that car goes.
Yep. And then there's been other things. There's like aerial and otherworldly phenomena. There's something, it's called the Crown Point visitation. This took place in Crown Point, New Mexico. There was an elderly man that reported seeing 4 small children with large heads and black eyes wandering in his yard. And they appeared fascinated by his solar lights that he had before they silently glided up a hill and entered a craft that was just a few feet away.
Weird. And now I've got another story here with black-eyed kids in Cannock Chase, England. I'm sorry, Ian, I'm mispronouncing this badly.
It's our stick.
It is our
what we
shtick.
do.
We do.
I can't speak. I don't even know how I have a podcast.
Words are hard.
It's because I don't care. No. Cannock Chase has layered folklore involving black-eyed children, phantom figures, werewolf, and pigman stories. UFO reports and old military history. The black-eyed child legend is especially tied to modern creepypasta style folklore, but regional accounts and local media helped turn it into a paranormal destination. There are lots of reports of black-eyed kids over there.
Yeah. I'm
Don't
gonna
talk
say,
to
I'm
them.
just
Don't
gonna,
touch them.
yeah, I'm gonna put out this disclaimer. Black Eyed Kids are not a creepypasta.
No,
No, they're not. Definitely not.
They claim they are now. They are not. They do not originate out of creepypasta. They were here long before any creepypasta was.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's some. I mean, what some
There's
of those go back
documented
into the
stories of
50s
them.
and 60s, right?
Yeah.
We
And there
found
was no
stories
internet
back in
back
the
then for there to be
1800s
creepypasta.
even.
yeah,
There's
1800s.
there's documented stories of them that were well before creepypasta.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to find out how long those go back. They go a long time. I mean, it is. Some of that folklore has been creepypastaized, however you want
It
to
has,
say
yeah. It's been given a
that.
modern twist,
But
basically.
werewolf and pigmen. So we've got wolfmen and orcs running around. Kenneck Chase. The UFO reports. The phantom footsteps is kind of weird. You're walking along and you hear footsteps behind you. You stop, you turn, there's nothing there.
That
Hate
actually, yeah, that happened to me and my oldest son. I lost a bet to him, and he wanted to go ghost hunting. That was his win. So we went to a cemetery that's not too far away. It's a county over from us, and but we had always heard that there was a lot of uh, hauntings that happened there. It was highly haunted. So we went, and there were some other people with us, but we were walking down. There's like the two tire tracks that are graveled,
that.
So
Right.
we're walking down those, and he was like, "Stop for a minute," and so I did, and we both stopped, and we hear crunch, crunch, crunch behind us, like 3 steps. So we stopped, and we kind of looked at each other and looked at the people that were with us, and we're like, "Did y'all hear that?" And they're like, "Yeah, we heard that." We're like, "Okay, let's try it again. Let's just nonchalantly move on." So we did, walked a few, and just Tim was like, "Stop." So we stop, and we hear crunch, crunch, and we're like, "Holy crap, there's something." And it was a very moonlit night, very pretty out. Uh, the gravel was shining white, easy to see. There was absolutely nothing. And we're like, "Okay, there's cows, because there was cows up next to the fence." We're like, "Yeah, there's no cows that are sounding like they're walking down a gravel road, though."
No, and see, I've actually heard that. When I was a kid, I lived on a farm, and it's fairly well populated in that area now. But when I was a kid, closest neighbor was like a mile away. And at this point, we did not actually the one I remember. We did not have cattle. If we'd had cattle, I would have probably just shredded it off.
Mhm.
I went out to what was I doing? I was going out. We had an old garage out there. It's still out there with an old International Harvester refrigerator. I mean, and that thing I think still runs too. It weighed as much as a car,
Yeah, easily.
and it kept pop perfectly cold. Dad would stop by and pick up cases of glass bottles at the Coca-Cola bottling company there in Winfield. And so I had gone out, snuck out for a
Bad Mark.
late night soda, and you see how I turned out
Sody
for a
pump.
late night soda. And for some reason, the yard light was out, so it was dark. I'm walking out there, and I could hear footsteps as I walked. And I wasn't making any footsteps because I was barefoot. But I'd take a couple steps and I'd hear crunch, crunch, and it was like, who's back there? Then it wasn't the
that's-
dogs. The dogs were laying down in the doghouse. I could see them. It was like, what the heck is this? So, needless to say, I did not give up my soda, but I got the hell out of Dodge as soon as I got that thing. I was hot footing across those rocks in the dark, trying to get back on the porch and in the house.
Maybe it was some of Ian's killer hedgehogs.
Hedgehogs are so cute.
They are cute. They can be little shitheads, though.
Do not hug a hedgehog.
No, they don't hug back.
It will hug back, and it will not be pleasant.
Who has a hedgehog? Bree.
Oh no, they're
Bree
cute.
has a hedgehog.
Bree has a hedgehog. Yeah.
I can't remember what his name is. She's always dressing him up, and it's hilarious. And he always looks so miserable. She put a little happy birthday hat, and he's like,
They do look kind of sad sack, don't they?
they do.
All right. Well, here's one we haven't talked about. It's got some. It has got some issues with it. It's kind of an area of high strangeness. Dyatlov Pass.
Dyatlov Pass. Yeah.
Yeah. Dyatlov Pass. So they've had all kinds of weird sightings out there. And of course, everybody remembers it because in '59, when the hikers disappeared, don't know what was going on with that. But they believe that they saw flying spheres out there, and that's what maybe had caused it. I think it was something that the Soviet government had done at the time, but
I agree.
there are still weird things seen out there.
Yeah.
And so
the
really don't know.
giant sky flashes, I think, are really interesting. They have bouts where you'll be out there in the middle of the night, moonless night, and all of a sudden everything will light up bright as day.
Yeah.
Like
the
it's
big
daytime all of a
glowing
sudden.
orange spheres that are seen by both military and locals.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you've got UFO stuff. And men and reindeer that are places where they shouldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird
It-
one.
They
Weird
also
stuff
have
has happened there, and there's all kinds of conspiracy theories. I mean,
There's
people are still seeing lights.
There's a supposed indigenous group out in that area, and they mark the trees with this weird kind of secret language, and people aren't allowed into specific areas, and if you see these specific marks, you know not to go into them because stuff happens back there you don't want to know about. It's a shady area.
Is that the Mansi people?
I don't recall. It's been a long time since I've read up on Dyatlov. Crazy though. If I'm sure everyone's probably heard, kind of generally know kind of what the story's about, but if you've never really like read up on it, do it. It's one of the most
weird
interesting
stuff was going on, and there people died. And whether you believe the conspiracy theories that it was the Soviets or if it was aliens,
or Bigfoot.
or Bigfoot, their Bigfoot destroyed their camp and everybody froze to death. I really don't know. I lean towards they saw something they shouldn't have and they were silenced.
Yeah.
It
has that feel for sure.
has that feel. And the Soviet government was very well known for just disappearing people.
Yeah.
For no good
no
reason.
Skin off their back. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's just
take care of the issue. Just get rid of it.
They won't be talking now. So, that one. The only thing that really makes that weird is the stories about it. Plus, like I said, you've got the UFO activity even to this day. The glowing spheres in the sky and the bright flashes of light. So,
yeah. Which frankly could be military too.
It could very well be military. We don't know what they've got up there. Yeah. I mean, the guy running Russia right now used to be a member of the KGB, so you know, anything goes as far as that goes.
Yeah.
All right. We should talk about Shasta a little bit.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about Shasta. You can go. So Shasta, almost on any given day, you can go out there and park your car and get your lawn chair out crack yourself a beer open, and watch the lights.
Watch the lights.
Just watch the lights.
Weird. Shasta is one big ball of nuts.
It is.
It's one big bucket of crazy. Oh my gosh. So
I want to go.
We featured Shasta I think we did
3 or 4
2
times.
shows on it a couple of
least
years
2,
ago
yeah.
or a year ago. Oh my gosh. So you've got, okay, so not only do you have like the old American Indian legends about the mountain itself, but you've also got the Lemurians and
Yes.
Talos, and then you have all the really weird cryptids that creep around the area.
Portals.
One of them, what was the name of that one that I found? I can't even
The
remember.
grandma robot.
He had the grandma robot. Oh, I wish that Enzo was in the chats because that's one of his favorites.
Yeah.
The Tripodero. I just found it.
There you go.
It's this really weird creature that people see all the time up on Shasta, and it's got like this long beak that ratchets out, and it like sucks things off of the ground.
Like an
And then
anteater.
Like an anteater. It's really
With a
weird.
ratcheting beak.
Yeah. But it also has like telescopic legs. Like the legs get really, really long and then really, really short again, so it can get to food on the ground. It's a weird little
We need to
beast.
go.
Somebody
That sounds-
on an LSD trip came up with that, I think, or saw it, one or the other, or maybe both.
Don't knock it if you ain't tried it.
Shasta's
I ain't
also
tried
the
it.
home of the famous
neither.
bat squatch.
That squatch? That sounds fucking amazing. Pardon my
It's 9 foot tall, has bat wings and red glowing eyes, and is furry. We thought it was kind of Mothman-ish.
Yes, it is, Ian. This is the poop on the cardboard episode. You are correct.
Yeah. Shasta's also home to Guy Ballard and the Count of Saint Germain.
Yes, yeah.
Yep. There's also the 60-foot hole that, claims all sorts of stuff crawls out of it. It also has that weird harmonics on the mountainside that they can't explain. It also sits on 2 converging ley lines, which is why one of the reasons why we think it's so weird. They also report mechanical keening sounds all over the hillside. They also have the angel choir that they always hear, like singing off in the distance. Glowing and colored orbs. They have UFOs and aliens.
Sightings
got-
by aircraft pilots all the time.
Yeah.
Isn't that
there's
one
an
where
entire-
where they've had the door open up in the side of the mountain? Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that city that twinkles at night, sometimes it'll pop up and just suddenly there'll be a whole city at the top of the mountain and then it goes away again.
Yeah.
That sounds very much like a fairy mound, honestly.
Yes. They
Mention
also
it,
have the
sir.
faceless hat man that haunts the trails.
Yep.
The demons, the sounds of babies crying, the vortexes, the stone circles where people walk in and disappear.
Yeah. There's a
all the
big old
Again,
back
very
of nut
fayish.
Yeah. But yeah, all the weird caves, the little fairy caves and stuff like that they keep finding. And of course, Robot Grandma, everybody's favorite story.
Absolutely.
I'll win the lottery. We're gonna go and we're gonna spend a week.
Robot Grandma Ian is the one that wanted the kid to poop on the cardboard, and that's when he decided he'd had enough. It was time to go home.
So if you're listening at home or you're watching and you don't know the story, a really quick recap. It was almost, well, it is kind of a missing 411 story, only the kid came back. Kid was with his family out hiking. He suddenly goes missing. I can't remember how long he was gone. It was quite a while. It was a number
quite a
of
while.
days.
Wasn't it?
I want to say 2 days, but I
um,
could be wrong.
They hunted, they searched for him, family came out, days of hunting, no whisper of him, and then suddenly he popped up literally right back on the trail where he had gone missing. seemed to be perfectly fine. He was a little hungry and I think a little dehydrated, but otherwise okay. And they asked him where he had been, and he told this long, convoluted story about how he had taken a step off the trail and his grandma was there. And his grandma said, basically, I'm going to help you out. Follow me. I'll get you to safety. She ends up taking him back to this cave, and there were like weird piles of clothes and other strange things there. And she was feeding him berries and things like that and trying to keep him calm. And after a little while, he started to realize that this was not his grandma. She was not acting like his grandma would, and she didn't always sound quite right, and she didn't always look quite right. And at one point, there was a piece of cardboard in this cave that they were hiding out in, and she tried desperately to get him to take a poo on this piece of cardboard. And he refused to do it, and he couldn't figure out why, and it started scaring him really bad, and he ran off from the cave and then ended up right back on that trail where he went missing, and that's where they found him at. Mm-hmm. But when they asked him about this, he kept calling her robot grandma because that's very much how she acted after they got to that cave. Everything was very robotic about her voice and her mannerisms. So that's what we talk about when we talk about the
poop on the cardboard.
Yep. Shasta is crazy town. It absolutely is. But you literally can go out there on any given night, almost, with your binoculars and see weird stuff. So I would really like to go. I'd really like to. It'd be cool if somebody got like a permanent sky cam up there. Yeah, I just hit myself with my mic. It was great. So you could just tune in on, any given night and just watch the video as it comes in live.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing.
That would be very, very neat.
We actually need to do that. We have a similar spot here, not 10 minutes away. We haven't visited yet, and there's no excuse.
Yeah.
We just need to go out some evening when everybody has the weekend off. We don't even have to it's getting warm now. We could just take our lawn chairs out there and our binoculars. I've got several pairs of binoculars and a spotter scope. Oh, we could make it work. We need to do it.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Get some photographic evidence. Photographic. Yes. Hey, no pictures, or it didn't happen.
Especially in our line of stuff. Yeah. You definitely.
I mean, I've got lots of stuff I've seen, but why didn't you get a picture of it? Because I was too freaked out to remember that I had a phone with a camera on it in my pocket.
Your stuff happens so darn fast. Reflexes aren't quick enough to get it up.
I have trouble taking pictures at meetings when we're supposed to be taking pictures. How do you expect me to take pictures of stuff that just pops up? It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen.
We need to put somebody else in charge of the pictures. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or the video, at least.
I might be good for some video, but picture, not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much.
That's funny. Oh, speaking of some of the video that Enzo got, remember he put it up for us to look at? Did you guys look at it yet?
A little bit, yeah.
The about 53 seconds in, something goes right by one of the ladies' heads.
Mm-hmm. There was all sorts of weird stuff going on in the background. Yeah.
That was a weird night. I want to go back.
Yeah, definitely. It was fun. I had a good time.
So, we'll talk about that again one of these days. We'll do another group hunt sometime.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Oh.
Something weird.
There he is. Hi, Enzo.
Yay! The name has been spoken. He has been summoned.
He's like a genie in a bottle. He just poofed in.
We said his name 3 times. So here he is.
It was poopy robot grandma that called him in.
It was.
She
That's
knocked on his
true.
door. Enzo, they are talking about the poop. Please get online.
And on the cardboard.
And on the
Nature,
cardboard.
nature.
So we got about 15 minutes left. Let's talk about some of the things that these things have in common. So I've got a
Ley
list.
lines.
Ley lines. There's often ley lines associated with these.
Mm-hmm.
UFOs.
Yep.
Most of them have UFOs. Hauntings, ghost activity, that sort of thing. You get lots of reports of cryptids of various nature.
Definite multi phenomena.
That
Mhm.
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Then you get stuff like that. You get a lot of missing 411 in a lot of these areas, missing people. And most of these areas have a liminal geography where things come and go all the time. Abandoned roads, and things like that. Lots of lights, unexplained lights. And then you get the weirdest folklore around these areas. So,
Well, that would be a given. I mean, if
if
you're in
you've
a
got
high
all this
strangeness area,
weird stuff, and then, like I said, weird hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, it's the whole deal. Missing people, phantasms along the road, phantom hitchhikers and stuff like that. All the stuff that they used to tell just to scare you on the night of the campfire. You get stuff like that in these areas. And they're just really strange. Hence the area high strangeness. Some of these are stronger areas than others. And you get into the triangle. A lot of these are like triangles and vile vortices, but I think they've all got the same things in common. You tend to have magnetic anomalies, and these sorts of things in these locations. And so, are they paranormal or supernatural? Maybe. Are they strange because the environment encourages strangeness? Maybe. Or are they strange because the environment allows you access to things that were there all along you just don't normally see?
So I'd say window areas. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm wondering really if that's not part of it. If these areas are just, I hate to say it because it sounds so spooky, creepy 1950s. The veil is thin, and you know not what you shall see. But I really do think that, when you get around these magnetic anomalies, you get around some of these areas, I really think you start seeing all of this stuff, not because it's different than any place else. It's just that you have the ability to see it there. It's been all around us the whole time. So
I think it's a triple threat. I think areas of high strangeness have three main things in common. I think that they are attached to a highly active or active mini ley lines. I think that there is some kind of a moving water source, and I think the geography of the land, what's underneath of it, what's it made of. I think those three things combined just create these areas. That's why we get the vile vortices. It's why we get the triangles. It's why we get areas like what we're in. We get that triple threat, and when those three come together, it's like the perfect recipe to create the window areas, like Pam said. They become these almost portal type areas where just about anything can pop through and will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing I am excited about. Hessdalen Valley where they've actually set up scientific research, and they've actually got some reasonably good theories about why some of this stuff happens. And I think a lot of that is going to translate over into some of these other areas. I like the fact that they are actively trying to use science to find out what's going on. Not, well, the Indians used to say that, and the Indians used to say that, and then back in the 1800s, and this pilot saw that. Yeah, we get it. We're seeing all this, but what are we doing about it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Let's get the instruments out there. Let's monitor the skies. Let's record the data. Let's find out what's going on.
Yeah. It's not just retroactive storytelling in these places, kind of like where we're at,
It's happening all the time in a lot of these places.
Yeah, these types of zones, they actually allow for prospective study, just continuing study.
You just got to do it.
Yeah, you just have to get out and do it. And what's cool about it, and we have experienced this, where we will get involved with the phenomena that occurs in our area, and when we involve ourselves, it seems like it responds. You know what I mean? We start having encounters. We start having really weird things happen. And it always seems like we have to pull back at some point. We did this last time because it kind of spooked us. And we're kind of where we're at with the whole study of that area right now is we just don't know which way to go. We got to regroup and figure it out. But we have to get over the fear of what it is, before we can do that. And that's kind of where we're at. But the cool part about all of that is, and what my point is the fact that it's there. And when we're ready to engage, it will engage again. And it dies down as we back away. But when we engage again, then it comes right back up. It's like, oh, hey, you're back. Hey, let's pick up right where we left off.
One of the difficult things about studying an area like this is the sheer amount of money it takes to do it right.
Yeah.
So you basically need an organization or a college or government funding or what have you to actually do anything. And I love those people goes, well, if there was anything to that, the government would tell us all about it. No, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
They would absolutely not do that. And getting somebody to actually spend the money and the expertise. I'm not a scientist. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Get some actual scientists out there. Get the equipment out there. Even if you're just recording everything and then, paying college kids to go through it in their spare time, do it.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be an excellent way to do that. Set the equipment up permanently, have somebody maintain it, and then just put some postgraduate kids or what have you out there studying the data. See what the data says. We don't have the data. Collect the data.
Yep.
It's not something a group like us can do. We can't be out there every night. We've got day jobs. We've got to, we've got to make a living. It's worth studying. It's worth finding out what's really going on.
It is.
And I think that we're going to find out that, once again, it's all connected.
Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah, for sure it is.
So, all right. Well, Julie said it best. Government will say nothing.
Yeah.
Yes. Even when they're talking, they say nothing. You're absolutely right. I really don't have a lot. I mean, I do have a lot left. We could do this for 2 more hours.
Yeah.
Easily.
Well, I mean, just to give you an idea, like we could talk about each one of the triangles. There's 16 of them.
Yeah.
We could talk about all the vile vortices. We haven't even talked about anything in Kentucky, Michigan Triangle, Brown Springs, Hoyabachu. We've talked about that a lot in some previous shows
Yeah,
here
we just kind of
recently.
went past that one.
Point Pleasant,
Yeah.
West Virginia, that whole
There's
area.
so much out
We
there.
didn't even get to talk about Meadow Project.
No,
No,
we didn't. That was on the list tonight too.
Yeah.
All these were on the
Appalachian
list.
Mountains.
Yeah.
Holy cow. You know,
And
just
so there's weird stuff in Kentucky.
yeah, if you want to continue the
Just
high
a
strangeness,
smidge.
join us next week on
Border Town
Strange.
yeah, we're going to be doing more Kentucky talk.
Part two of
2,
Weird
'cause
Strange Kentucky.
There's
And I
way
think we're
more.
going to revisit some of the high strangeness, because a lot of the stuff that we're interested in happens in these areas. So don't think just because we're wrapping up for the night that we're done with it. We are not.
No.
Neither are you.
We could do just a podcast on high strangeness,
We
period.
could. We could
I
take
do.
every one of these and do a deep dive into it and make a show and have a new show about a new area every week for years.
Mhm.
We really could. It wouldn't be hard.
No.
And if I did not work 50 to
Right?
60 hours a week, that's what we'd be doing. But in 2 weeks, we will be talking about all of the stuff that has been going on in the UFO community, the disappearances, the fatalities, and whatnot, the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about.
Hopefully we can have Enzo on.
Yes.
Yes, Enzo, you are invited to talk about all things UFO conspiracy wise in the last few weeks, months.
And
So-
if only someone had a travel van to go visit all these places. If
Wouldn't that be
only.
cool?
That will soon
Yeah.
have air conditioning.
Yes.
Instruments.
He
It means instruments, not musical. Although
Air conditioning first.
we did discuss the fact that oboe is sufficiently creepy to make it, I mean, totally worthy.
That's funny. Nothing like an oboe. Maybe you should do oboe. Maybe you should do oboe. I can't even say it. It's cracking myself up. Maybe you should put oboe music in the intro outro.
I have found some really cool music for intros and outros.
Yes, it's pretty fantastic.
So be looking forward to that. We're going to have some fun. My
Can't
good
even read the
friend
triangle.
with the Beyonderers and Ultra Terrestrial have given me permission to use some really fantastic music, and I think we're going to all enjoy it a lot.
Oboe pogo.
Oboe
Enzo
pogo?
said oboe pogo.
It's hard to say. Oboe pogo.
That's a tongue twister, isn't it?
It is.
So, all right, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Everybody have a really good 2 weeks, and we'll see you here in 2 weeks. And we're going to talk about all the shenanigans that's been going on lately.
Yeah.
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 And join us next week on Strange, because Mark will be there and Enzo will be there, and we'll do part 2 of Strange Kentucky, and we'll talk about a whole
And
lot
it's
more high
authentic
strange
because we have
Again.
an authentic Kentuckian.
We do.
Yes.
Yes,
Kentuckianite?
a Kentuckian,
And
I
he's
believe.
just as weird as Kentucky is.
Kentuckyoid?
Kentucky.
I mean, I believe he's an average representation of the species. We love him to death.
We do. He's pretty awesome.
Yep. All right. See you later, Ian. See you later, Julie. Bye, Enzo.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.